I'm Hector Wells, a trained as an osteopath, and I would like to share with you a story really from Hannah. She will share her experience, but the important thing here, I want to get across that emotions are a physical event which you can remove with manual therapy, and the enhanced technique which I use, the enhanced technique which I've been taught, can remove a traumatic memory within about 20 seconds and it doesn't return. And my experience is that's every time. And so Hannah's going to tell you her story, but I'm very grateful that you're going to be sharing something which is very personal, very real, and very valuable to share. Thank you.
My name's Anna, I'm 38 and I'm on my third pregnancy. I've come to talk to you about the second pregnancy where I lost my baby at 18 weeks. I was still stressed about what had happened. I didn't really know to what extent it had affected me until I fell pregnant shortly after, and that's when I came to Hector. This will be my third pregnancy. I came to Hector when I was 5 months pregnant with the third pregnancy, but completely traumatised still by the loss of the second child. I would get completely worked up before midwife appointments or doctor's appointments, and just wasn't enjoying the pregnancy because I was so scared that something was going to happen that was going to be bad at the end of it. I came to Hector and spoke to him and explained what had happened, and he said to me that he could get rid of that feeling, and the only way I can explain that feeling is like a heavy feeling on your heart and on your head really. I couldn't talk about what had happened to me previously to having this treatment, so I agreed and was quite open-minded to what Hector was saying and was just up for giving it a chance really. He did this treatment on my head that lasted about 20 minutes. He didn't say anything, but he put pressure on my head, and eventually I felt the feeling of the pain lifting from my head, and by the end of the treatment it had gone and I felt completely lighter. Afterwards I was left feeling that a weight had been lifted off my shoulders. And although now it's still upsetting when I think about it and talk about it, I haven't got that trauma that I was feeling before, and it just feels completely different. And this has made me be able to relax more in my pregnancy now and enjoy it more rather than just fretting all the way through it. So it's something that I would definitely recommend. And so when Hector was holding my head in the treatment, it all lasted about 20 seconds. It wasn't painful and it didn't feel uncomfortable, and you could feel it working almost immediately.
And what was the immediate effect after it?
I felt lighter. That's the only way I can describe it, and freer. And when I sat up, it was like I felt like a weight had been lifted off my shoulders. And although I could still feel that I'd lost the child, it wasn't the intense pressure that I felt on my head before, and it wasn't the same pain that I felt. I couldn't even have a conversation about it before, whereas now, although it's still there and it's still upsetting, I can talk about it, which I'd have never been able to do. And that was immediately after having the treatment that I felt like that.
And has it lasted?
Yeah, it has lasted, yeah. So we're further down the line now, and I've been able to enjoy my pregnancy that I'm having now. I don't feel so stressed, and although I haven't forgotten the second pregnancy and the baby and what I went through, I haven't got that pain constantly that I feel when I think about it.
Were you diagnosed with any condition at all after the first or the second pregnancy, the loss of the second child?
I didn't go to the doctors. I felt down about it, and I tried to keep busy because I've already got a daughter. I kind of just worked probably a bit more and tried to keep busy and tried to just carry on. It was close to Christmas, so there was a lot going on as well, so it kept me busy. So I wasn't diagnosed with anything, but I did know that there was something different to how I felt, and I did know that I was feeling stressed, but it wasn't until after the treatment that I had with Hector that I realised quite how bad it was.
So if someone suffered from postnatal depression or felt postnatal or had anxiety, what would you say about the treatment?
I definitely had anxiety and stress after what I went through, and I definitely don't feel those feelings now. So I would definitely recommend you do it and give it a go, because it's something that doesn't take a long time. It's really immediate and it's not painful and it doesn't feel weird, and it does work.
How's it changed your relationships?
The relationship with my daughter, I feel less stressed, and the relationship that I've got with the baby that I'm having now, I feel a lot more bonded with the baby, and a lot closer to the baby, whereas I wasn't allowing myself to have that relationship previous because of the fear of losing it. And I think that me and my partner, I'm a lot more relaxed with our relationship as well. So it's completely changed every close relationship that I have in a positive way.
And the original pregnancy that caused harm, what happened? It was 17 weeks, and then what was the...
So with my second pregnancy, there was not enough water around the baby, and I kept going back, and I think they were hoping that it would improve. They sent me to a specialist, and the baby's kidneys hadn't developed properly, and it was causing the baby not to develop properly. And if I could have gone full term with the baby, but it was just still only survived a few hours. So I was given the option to terminate the pregnancy, and I had to go through the pain of labour and seeing the baby, so it was quite traumatic.
And how's that feel now?
A lot less traumatic than it did previous. It's still very sad, but I can talk about it, and I couldn't talk about it before without crying or feeling distressed or just not being able to address it, and I can now. So the difference is amazing.